During the presentation, the following contents will be discussed: historical perspectives of evaluating skill retention using simulators in healthcare and simulation training, state-of-the-art simulation technology in building skill retention, and team dynamics, and how this relates to modeling and simulation, example of how simulation is used today and why it's so important, and we'll demonstrate utilizing a video with an obstetrical emergency. And lastly, where is simulation training headed in the future? Healthcare simulation can be dated back to the development of the part test simulator Resusci Annie by the Laerdal Company in the 1950s. Resusci Annie was a development to support skill acquisition on mouth-to-mouth ventilation. With Resusci Annie, Laerdal created a full-size training mannequin that allowed training on clinical scenarios like obstructed airways. The later version of this simulator included a spring mechanism in the chest, allowing simulation of chest compressions as well. In the early 1960s, standardized or simulated patients were introduced to help train communication and clinical skills. The advantage being that this provided consistent conditions for assessing communication and clinical skills in specific situations. The next step in healthcare simulation was the development of a computer-controlled modern simulator, the Sim-1, in the late 1960s. Sim-1 was controlled by a hybrid digital analog computer and many features of today's high physical fidelity simulators. Sim-1 could breathe, had a heartbeat, displayed blood pressure, and was able to blink, and could open and close its mouth. In addition, it was able to respond to 4 intravenously administered drugs and 2 gases. Sim-1 was utilized in its studies of proficiency among anesthesiology residents. The evaluation of effectiveness of this simulator indicated that simulator-trained residents reached professional levels of performance in fewer elapsed days and in one smaller number trials in the operating room than those who did not participate in simulator training. One obstacle in the wide use of Sim-1 was its purchase and maintenance costs. A significant step towards the acceptance of medical simulation can be attributed to the work of Gaba at Stanford and Good at Greviston at the University of Florida in the 1980s. Their work led to the creation of commercial medical simulators for the use of medical training. Commercial availability made it easier to acquire and operate medical simulators, culminating in the establishment of simulation centers at medical schools nationwide. Today's popularity of simulation for medical education is illustrated by the fact that the number of annual simulation-related publications increased more than tenfold between 1990s and the 2000s. For our project, we decided to use full mission simulators to complete team training. In the next few slides, you'll get a better understanding why. Full mission simulators are designed to simulate a complex task with all the environmental complexities of a medical setting included. When used for team training related skills, full mission simulators usually start with a pre-briefing. During the pre-briefing, the team members discuss their mission, assign roles and responsibilities, and identify key problems that could occur during the procedure. Next, the team performs a simulated mission, and usually under the guidance of an instructor. Once the simulation is complete, the team members participate in a post-debrief and identify any key lessons they may have learned. We actually have included a video of a team of medical professionals utilizing the full mission simulator to enact a C-section in this presentation. The video shows the different components of skill retention and the team dynamics using the full mission simulator. reasons why full mission simulators are the state-of-the-art technology in evaluating skill retention and team building are because they are high in equipment fidelity, medium to high in environmental fidelity, and high in psychological fidelity. The benefits are that they allow trainees the opportunity to practice their trained skills under realistic conditions and to observe the consequences of their actions and inactions in a safe environment, which is very important. They also allow for trainees to prepare for extremely rare but highly critical emergency situations that would be impossible to train otherwise. However, there are some weaknesses. Personnel costs associated with developing, implementing, and maintaining full mission simulations makes impractical for many organizations because many of them are tailored to specialty areas. They may be less useful for other disciplines. Simulation-based training is used in healthcare to ensure that healthcare professionals maintain and improve on their knowledge and skills in order to build confidence. Simulation-based training provides a safe environment to practice both technical and soft skills such as team dynamics and closed-loop communication. Task trainers offer the opportunities for surgeons to practice high-risk, low-volume procedures that they may need to perform at a mastery skill level. These can be very high-tech and expensive. However, they provide individualized learning. Low-tech examples may be mannequin arms to practice intravenous catheter insertion or peripherally inserted central catheters utilizing ultrasound. Team dynamics is vital to patient safety, but all too often it gets lost when we are practicing in a vacuum. Creating simulation scenarios that encompass everything, including high fidelity, can be very expensive. In the video shown in the next couple of slides, the team used multiple mannequins and a skilled task trainer to achieve their goals, which included closed-loop communication utilizing team steps. We would like to note that the team in the following video had access to SkillStation prior to participating in simulation scenario in order to reinforce previous concepts or skills. During simulation, those concepts are applied as the team analyzes the situation and consistently reassesses the situation, enabling them to make decisions.
Do our best, we're going to improve patient care this way. Goals are making safety all times, and this is a safe place to make mistakes and go forward. All right. Confidentiality at all times. The first mannequin we're going to work with is Noelle in room 15. Noelle will deliver a baby. You will then manage a complication of the delivery and a complication following delivery. We are going to move Noelle, the actual mannequin, and the bed to the outside of the operating room. Once we get to the outside of the operating room, we're going to leave that bed there, and we're going to transition into the operating room, okay, where another mannequin is set up. We will continue the sim right there. Okay. Noelle is able to get IVs. There are medications that we can draw up as part of a high fidelity delivery system.
OBGYN. We're pretty happily right now. We're doing several things to make you stop bleeding, but if not, I'm going to have to take you to the OR.
We're at about 1,800. It's 200 in the bottom.
So it seems like we have this doctor.
No, I'll start that now.
Yeah.
Fluid bowl is going?
And we're not able to get you to stop bleeding, so we're gonna get you to the OR here, okay? Do we get some oxygen on her now for C1?
All right.
All right. So factory.
Back reason, we're still bleeding pretty heavily out the back tree.
Okay.
Our EDL is about 2,200 right now.
So let's get her to the OR.
Okay.
So let's put the bed together.
In the OR? Yeah.
Let's get her to the OR.
I'll flush it. Why don't you go get the bottom of the bed? Go to the bottom of the bed, please.
Miss Smith, in order to save your life, do you give me permission to take out your uterus if we need to? Thank you, I appreciate that.
Alright, everything's gonna move really quick here, okay? 30.
Breathe. 1, 2, 3.
Put your legs down, okay? Alright, bed's gonna come off.
Okay, UVC is prepped. It's flush. She's
Alright,
pulling out that
remove it.
Can I have knife? Time out. This is Miss Smith. We are doing a open exploratory laparotomy due to ongoing hemorrhage. We are going to first try to do a peel-in suture, and then we'll do a hysterectomy if necessary. No allergies. Any issues?
Antibiotics?
Yes, 2 grams of Ansep, please. Thank you.
Ansep is going.
Okay. Everybody agrees blood products are coming, right?
On our way, sir.
Okay. So incision.
Whatever you got, but it has usually has a Bovie and all that stuff.
Yeah, the Bovie's been in there. It's set up. Can I have a sucker, please?
Our EDL's at about 3,000 right now.
All right. And Alexis retractor. Alexis, come out. All right. I got a big old body uterus.
Okay, how much left in? So she has asthma, correct?
Yeah. Large or extra large
So
Alexis.
Metrogen, how many doses?
We've gotten one dose. Large, extra large,
And how about Pitocin?
Extra large, but just don't pack it up. Can I have my stitch? My CX, my chromic, please. So I'm going to try a compression suture here.
In 1 minute, we're good for another dose of nitrogen.
I got it here.
And can you put a big clamp on? Okay. Anything you guys would have changed with that?
We should have gotten the second IV. Like you said, we weren't communicating. Like, so I heard someone like whispering, like, okay, our EBL is now like 1,000. Okay, our EBLs. And so like in my head, I was like, that's not good. But like you said, we never like said it out loud. So we never got a second IV or drew labs while we were in the room. But by the time we were thinking about doing that, we were already moving. So I think we're just like you said, calling the hemorrhage out faster. And then getting more support in the room to get that other IV and start drawing labs and things like that.
And what about the timing of the MTP? Of like where we would have called it?
Should have been initiated in the room. Once it was like I was on continue after EBO, should initiate into
So would you guys do that as well? Same things that you did a whole bunch of things. So what things did go well in the room?
The Bakri and stuff. Yeah, the Bakri went in, the Foley went in, and then it was really quick to, okay, now we got to go to the OR, and I think that transition was, I mean, obviously we had our kinks with the IV pole was too tall for the door, but like that's just like real life, but I think we overcame those things and got to the OR as quick as we should have.
Good. And then in the OR, I think it went very well. You know, it's always that time. Even in real life, we're waiting for the blood to get there.
Current research suggests that as technology advances over the next decades, so will the sophistication and use of simulation training in healthcare. The number of sim centers in hospitals is expected to increase with the move toward the use of simulation as one important step towards the assessment of knowledge, skills, and abilities of clinicians. Given the success of simulation in healthcare training, repeated use of simulation training and simulation based on certification of healthcare providers is likely a critical step towards the improvement of quality of care and patient safety. With the advancement of personalized medicine, the use of simulation to the study of procedural approaches and techniques before the procedure is being performed will provide a great opportunity to increase the quality of care of patients in general and the critically ill, high-risk patients particularly. Excuse me. There is a movement to incorporate more high factors and ergonomics in the development and adaptation of simulation training healthcare. The goal being emphasizing the importance of psychological fidelity rather than physical fidelity. In doing so, it is expected to accelerate the advancement in patient safety throughout the development of effective simulation training. Finally, in regards to using simulators to build skill retention, it is recommended that trainers use full simulation simulators almost exclusively to hone trainees' already learned teamwork related skills as part of task trainers. Do not provide trainees with the opportunity to practice their time management or resource sharing. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed our presentation.